All right, we are live and it's Monday. Of course, y'all see the smile of smiles on the screen right now in Atlanta. You're in Atlanta, and
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Yes, I'm in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Okay, because she's not in Texas. We know this because there's just a different light on Texas in Atlanta right now. But either
Oh,
though she brings the light with her. Y'all know who it is. This is Yaya's world. You can check her out. But we're gonna go really deep on again, disclosure stuff has been still hot. A lot of people have mixed emotions of what's happening and people expecting more, not getting enough, not seeing enough. Oh, maybe they didn't prove no aliens, or oh, my religion and all of this. And, um, we went this weekend, the team and I,
mhm.
Devin, TK, Maya, London, we was invited over to a mosque. Was it a mosque, right? And they were having a UAP UFO speaker that came in. Great guy. I mean, did an awesome job. But it was really kind of seeing their perspective on the UFO thing. The Elijah Muhammad. Of course, him being arrested with you know. You know, I think he had blueprints of UFOs way back in the 30s and all these things. But still, it's like everyone have their perspective. But one of the things that stood out the most is like, hey, we don't think reptilians exist. We don't even think the grays really. It's just either
Mhm.
they're humans or somebody built them. What have you came across that? But because it appears that this disclosure is going to affect everybody in every religion, if there's one to call it differently, but it does challenge. Nobody's saying, hey, great, aliens are here now. So what are your thoughts first?
Well, before just jumping into the movie, like I was telling you, Roderick, I feel like this was like a breadcrumb type of situation where they were like
Hmm.
giving people certain things to think about, but not really saying too much. They were blurring the lines with a lot of things, and uh, obviously they showed the grays for a specific reason, and the reason that I think they showed the grays and not necessarily the reptilians is because that's what everybody associates aliens to look like, right? So
Okay.
I I know that it is soft disclosure. I will say that. But like I said, this is just like the whole situation, even outside of the movie, like what they're disclosing is within their control because
Yeah.
remember, who controls the narrative controls the energy of the planet. So that's just my thoughts. I think that they're showing exactly what they want the people to see.
Yeah, and but if you think about it, I had a chance to go over disclosure again because
Mhm.
I have it on my computer.
Oh,
Did I
okay.
send you a copy this week? No, I text you. You didn't ask for it, did I?
No, you need to send it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need.
So I sent Joseph in Judah, so we have a copy of it.
Okay.
Of course, it's from the street, but it works. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
In fact, we may just go ahead and do movie night this week, and go ahead and just kind of show it, and then we can all discuss it a little bit. I'll
Yeah.
get the sentiment of everybody. But yeah, so just watching it for the third time on the screen, you tend to start seeing things that you missed the first two times.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? Let's slow it down because
Mhm.
now it's making sense. It's all this
Yeah.
different. When we thinking of the true message, and when I start thinking about it, and of course, listening back to some of the things, I can see where they're talking about religion. But at the same time, I think again, people need to understand that it wasn't made for us who's been in this for a long time because
Right.
they didn't need to prove no disclosure day to us. It's just validation of bringing people up to speed.
Mhm.
But there's still people out there that's really taking this lopsided, And again, and my question to you would be, why is it that even people that are in this conscious arena cannot accept that? Because it's like, are they skeptics? Like, well, I want it more. I gotta have more. And it's like, did you never believe anyway? You
Yeah.
know?
Okay, I agree. It is lopsided because there are some people who, of course, their eyes are still not open. Like they left out of the movie theater, they were pissed. They felt like it was going against religion, right?
Yeah.
But on the other side of things, like you said, the people in our spiritual community, so to speak, they were a little annoyed because they felt like it wasn't enough. They felt like exactly what I said. It was breadcrumb. It wasn't any disclosure because it's things that we've been talking about for years. The
Yeah,
things that people called us crazy for, right? So
yeah,
I do see. I mean, I guess I get both sides, but I also want people to understand. Please remember who's controlling the narrative, and
yeah,
don't you're going to get everything. Just like we talked about with the Epstein files, like they took out certain things, they probably added certain things. It's pretty much all a game with them, and when it
yeah.
comes to disclosing information. So, and it's not because I hear a lot of people saying they don't want to disclose the information because they're scared how the public might take it. Y'all really think that's what the reason is?
Oh
They don't
yeah,
care how
they can care less.
they don't care how you take it. It has nothing to do with that. It's because when you start asking one question, then that leads to something else, and that is always going to lead back to you. And
Yeah.
that's what they don't want.
Now let's stick with the non-obvious, but you and I talked about it a little bit, but maybe you can go in a little more detail because I didn't connect the dots yet, and I have not connected the dots to the symbolism of we knew the opening day was June 12th, number one.
Mm-hmm.
We knew the government released the UFO files the same day too, as though they're
Mm-hmm.
playing this game. The opening scene of the movie is a wrestling match.
Right.
The government did a wrestling match on the lawn the same day. I mean, what are we looking at here? Because these people are playing a whole nother level game. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? And they all on the same page. They all are into it
yeah.
one way. The entertainment side. We're gonna have our entertainment disclosure day with the wrestling match. You start the movie with a wrestling
Right.
match. We're gonna release files on the same day. You're gonna release your stuff on the same day. What are what are we up against here?
Listen, they telling you what, like I said, what most of us in the community already know, but a lot of people outside of the community never wanted to admit or too scared to admit that the world is a stage, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly what we see when we see wrestling. Like we, most of us know that's fake, and so when you have a movie that's supposed to be about supposed aliens and it's starting off with a wrestling match, you have to ask yourself, what are they trying to show us right here, right?
yeah.
The world is a stage. And then, of course, followed up behind the White House doing the same exact thing as the movie. Then you have to start questioning, okay, well, who is Steven Spielberg that
That
he's this
we was
connected?
gonna go there.
Yeah.
We was gonna go there because he was just on TV yesterday. I was watching the interview saying, "Oh, he actually said, well, I'm just going by things I've heard. I don't know. I've never seen an alien before or nothing." I'm
Oh,
like,
okay.
who is you working for or been
Uh-huh.
working for? Yeah,
Well, Steven Spielberg, from everything that I've looked into, that's a high level priest when it comes
oh,
to like,
okay. See, I
you
done
know,
done the research on him. Yeah,
yeah, when it comes to like masonry, all those types of things, magic, all that. So he's a part of that realm. And again, he's still a part of that controlled narrative as well. So of course he's a part of the plan is, stringing the folks along as far as what they're gonna tell the people and what they're not gonna expose. But
yeah,
you know, even with the whole like showing the aliens getting abused, like all of this was to pull on the heartstrings of the people, number one, right? Get you comfortable with aliens, right? So they can pull off their master plan. And this is where we start talking about Project Bluebeam and all those types of things. So yeah, I mean, all of this was by design and all of them folks working together.
yeah, yeah. I believe that again. We do know that they operate on a whole nother esoteric level.
Uh-huh.
Numerology, gematria, symbolism. I mean, they use every tool in the toolbox,
Right.
or are they using tools? They just using things that's unbeknownst to us,
Uh-huh.
signaling these messaging, and almost as though not just that it's all scripted, is that we are probably part of some simulation, and it's to a point where there's a faction of this simulation that are just not real. It's just operating systems in front of us,
Right.
and they're doing what they're doing cordially, I should say. And then here we are sitting here going, well, this just seems strange,
Uh-huh.
but yet we still go day to day doing what we're doing. So let's just first start with a big global overall idea. what did you gather overall about the movie itself?
Well, overall about the movie, I look at it totally different from what a lot of people looked at it as. The biggest lesson that I took away is the abilities that we have as humans.
Mm,
And I'm not sure if, like I said, if everybody took that message away, but that was a big common theme, like showing the different synchronicities or the symbolism that showed up prior to certain changes or transitions. And so basically it's showing how we have the ability, or even other entities have the ability to be able to tap into our minds, to be able to
okay.
tap into our subconscious, can control certain things, can control what we perceive, right? So there was just a lot of symbolism as far as the abilities that we have, and I hope people really really took that message away, because if it wasn't an alien movie. I said this
No, no,
time.
it wasn't.
No.
They sent a hell of a message
Oh yeah.
by it, and I think it was pretty much. So what I'm going to do now, just so I don't get in no trouble here, but just let those people, we're from the streets, so we do our thing, and so we're going to have a little fun with it. Uh, Let me see. So we're gonna have a little fun, y'all. So y'all can probably see it. Let
Okay.
me make sure the camera zooms in somewhere over there. But anyway, so we got it. We're gonna watch it this weekend, and so we're gonna watch this weekend here Saturday. So make sure everybody come up. We're gonna have a hot dog machine ready, and we're gonna discuss it openly. So I just want to know if we got
Yeah.
physical evidence that we have it. But I'll send you a copy in a little bit.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
and just check it out. I gathered, and TK and I over here was discussing this. It's something I've always been on in the word empathy, and they mention it a little bit in the movie that is the ultimate thing. And when I started looking into that even more deeper over the last few months, anyway, before this movie was talking,
Mhm.
it sounded that this is what the aliens was message that they were sending is what Steve, not Steven, but who does the symbolism, Carl Jung, I'm sorry, and he
Mhm.
talks about us being a collective one,
Mhm.
and it sounded like even during the movie, because empathy meaning not just you and me, but I mean not just us versus them, but you and me. It's like we are one. I need to empathize your view, your viewpoint, how you see the world. I don't have to walk in your shoes, just put my
Mhm.
foot in them to communicate. I don't understand what you're saying, but I'm here to listen,
Mhm.
so to speak. And that whole thing of empathy, I'm here to listen, appeared to be the last words that they were saying, right? Listen. But yet, because I thought at first they gave her intuition, but also now when I start thinking about empathy is being able to see from another person's view. She was able to go inside to see from their perspective.
Mhm.
So I thought that was pretty deep that, when I went over the third time where I started picking up on that. So
Yeah. Well, one thing that I will say, and going back to what I said, empathy is another way they control the narrative, right?
okay.
So when you think about why they could have shown any race of alien. Think about that, right?
Yeah.
Um, but again, taking it back to what they showed when they were disclosing these particular aliens, they were showing the humans doing what? Being abusive.
See that
Um,
now I said that, and when we went to the movies, I was telling her, I said, y'all should have felt this emotion because they triggering everybody to like make the
right.
aliens the other way, but nobody focused on the terrorism that the alien put on the two kids though when they first was
Exactly.
young. Terrorized their ass, right? They sit here, the eyes blink, they holding their faces back. The kids is
Yep.
like about gone. But nope, well, we passed that point. But
Hmm.
yet when we over here doing this to them, then it's yeah. So yeah.
Exactly. It's the same narrative they use in pretty much all the movies where they have you on the side of technically the bad guy. They'll make you feel bad or empathy for that one versus the
Yeah.
one they you feel like is going against the system, and that's really the ones that we should be with.
Well,
So
what is that called when someone can kidnap someone and over the years the kidnap he falls in love with the kidnapper, even though they
Um.
knew. You know
Oh
what
my.
I mean?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Something syndrome. But I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, I forget, and it's almost like that's what they try to do. You
Right.
have a shout out from Wide Open Podcast. Rob says hello, so I'm just
Hi,
giving you.
Rob. How
Yeah,
you
okay.
doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was my thought. It's like they. So I thought that. Oh, someone said Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm. Thank you. Stockholm syndrome. Yes.
Yeah,
It's a very that's a very real thing too. So
yeah.
yeah.
And it's like you try, and it's almost in abusive relationships, where you can't get them to walk away from the abuser. You know, they now have fallen in love with that abuser. Yeah,
Right. It's again. It's how they control the narrative. Like if they can pull on your heartstrings in a certain manner, if they can get you to, side with a certain entity or a group of people or energies, then they got you. And that's a lot of people. I don't know if you heard about, like, a lot of people got very emotional, like, and triggered in the movie. A lot of
yeah.
people, they got activated. Some things came back to them as far as their
That was what I was. Yeah, yeah.
hmm
Hmm.
yeah, so I mean, it just depends on where you are. I always say anything that you watch or consume is just gonna basically show where you are. It's about your conscious level. It's about your experience, your traumas that you holding on to. So this is why so many people respond differently to each movie. But this movie was designed to definitely get the people used to seeing aliens. Uh, comfortable with aliens, and like I said, they could have shown the other side of the alien group.
What I was going to say, the elephant in the room is the reptilian. They didn't want to go there. I
Exactly.
think they went there, well, not subconsciously, but just knowing the Watchers exist, which was that group or whatever,
Mhm.
but just showing that they can go in here and see from what you see. And
Right.
especially when he said, "Let me see in your left eye. Do you have a passenger?" You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They didn't say, and
Mhm.
they kept using passenger a whole bunch in that movie. So I really didn't get the meaning of that. Remember, I'm just a passenger. Let me see if you got a passenger. I don't know if you, and I heard that when I watched it the second time, right? Because we got it on our little
Yeah.
thing here, so I'm checking it out. So I get to hear stuff I didn't hear before. But
Mhm.
yeah, they did not want to address that elephant in the room. And like I
No.
said, when we went to the mosque this weekend, which was a great presentation, by the way, but
Mhm.
he immediately said, "Y'all believing in these species and the crazy reptilian stuff." I'm like, y'all got a whole big thing built around this story, and y'all saying reptilians doesn't exist.
Oh,
And
please.
we know Malachi Z York, or not Malachi, but Z York is an extension of
Mhm.
he all into the reptilians. So they must have been at each other's throat because
Right.
at this point, I mean, they were just saying, "Hey, that's stupid," and it's not even aliens; it's something else. It's humans or the Lodge of Muhammad. And I'm not saying that I'm against what their teaching was. It's just I
Mhm.
learned a lot from their perspective, and just kind of seeing that. So yeah, another part I think we can talk about is the fact that even though this is supposed to have been some horror alien film, why was we seeing more of human consciousness things versus alien? What was they sending about that?
Well, first of all, I feel like they were trying to blur the lines once again because some people, depending on how you perceive the movie, they were thinking that the abilities come from the aliens, right? And so I believe
Okay.
that.
Yeah, you good. We see you. We don't hear you, but we see you. Well, she'll be back in just a second, y'all. Just hang in a minute. That's that Atlanta, whatever. We'll get her to log back in and pretty much. But yeah, so yeah, she'll hop back on y'all and we'll do that. But that's one of the things that if you notice, just was Yaya was leading into was the fact that there's a lot of scenario where they was focusing on maybe us seeing our own abilities and everything else. And pretty much now, Yaya, I can see you in the stage, but the camera is not on, so that's why I haven't brought you up yet. So if you're listening, I can see you down in the backstage. But yeah, so the other part of that is they played a lot of parts in this movie of our consciousness and other things. And so if you just joined us, she's tapping back in her phone and stuff. It's been acting up. So I got you on stage. I just can't see you if you can hear us. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm back.
All right, you're good there.
They were
Okay.
blowing my phone up. Okay, sorry about
Well, I mean, when you're in demand, you're in demand. You know what I'm saying?
that.
Yeah.
I'm back. Okay, so I forgot what we were talking
Well,
about.
I
Oh,
was saying we was talking about how they went more into not alien stuff, but like you were getting into, there's more to us than anything, and they didn't put us in us. We already had some of this stuff,
right.
but yet trying to depict some special coding at this thing. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. So basically, everybody was talking about the cardinal, right? Because of
Yeah.
course, every time you see the cardinal represented in this movie, from my perspective, transition. Like every
Okay.
time you see the cardinal, it activated something else to happen.
Yeah, I just
Um,
thought it was that trauma. It was a trauma activation tool, but yeah.
mhm. And but also the cardinal in spirituality represents what, like a messenger or an ancestor, even the deers, same thing. So um when they showed the fact that the aliens were pretty much within the animals, this is where they kind of blurred the lines, where they were pretty much showing like the abilities of Margaret, like how she started speaking in different languages. Like once you see towards the ending where they were showing like those are the animals, but yeah, there's actually something else within those animals, right?
Yes.
It was trying to blur the lines in my perspective to show like maybe Margaret got those abilities, or in, I think his name, what was his name, Danny, something like that, the guy, he got his abilities from that incident that happened at that home. And so I didn't take that though. I just believe, and just like I always talk about animals and the meaning behind animals, we already come with those abilities, right? Especially us original beings of the earth. We come with those abilities. That's our original language. Communication via telepathy. That's how we originally communicated. So before the, system. So I know that there was a lot of things that were questions that were unanswered, and that was again by design. So it wasn't true disclosure. However, if you know what you were looking at, you know that they were showing just how deep we can go within our own subconscious, but
Oh,
also how people have the ability to be able to tap in to only to certain individuals, though.
well, by the way, I'm just emulating here, but your buddy is sitting over there. You know, your bench buddy. You know, you know, he's sitting over there. So just let y'all know.
Hi, TK. I know it's TK.
But so, what about, even though we want to talk about the difference, they did make a huge distinction at the end of whispering in the dude's ear, and then she didn't understand it, but she spoke it on the news, not knowing, but he understood it. But then he had to interpret it back to her, like she didn't know the language.
Well, that was showing different frequencies too, and
Okay.
also the different abilities. So just like, for instance, you and I, Roderick, we could be sitting next to each other, and I could look up in that sky and I might see a whole bunch of UFOs, right?
Yeah.
But that's because that's where my frequency is, or that's my particular ability. Whereas I might say, "Hey, Roger, look up there. You see all them UFOs?" And you might look
Yeah.
up and say, "Hell no, I don't see nothing up there." Right?
There you
And so
go.
it's happened to me, and this is when I started learning about frequencies. And also, like I said, who's tapped into their abilities and who's not. And so I not to say that each of the two were not tapped into their abilities, but it also shows that we do have different abilities. Just like when she was on the news and everybody was saying that they heard the clicks, but he could hear her speaking English, like you said.
Yeah.
why, right? And like I said, that's just because he was on that frequency to be able to do that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty. Just seeing the different parts from where they were going and from there. So
Mhm.
let's move into real time, and we'll bounce back in there. Where do people go from here? I mean, did it disrupt religion? Did it do what it intended to do? Is it, more believers now? Because the government said recently, I was looking on their website, they
Mhm.
got over 2 billion downloads. And we know damn well that didn't come from us. You got not our groups. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going in there downloading that stuff. Two
Right.
billion downloads.
Well, I'm. I will say this: timing is everything. Again, they came out with the movie at the perfect time, especially because we are in what a mass awakening, right? We're also
Mm-hmm.
headed towards the summer solstice, energy harvesting season. So yes, they may have opened a few eyes, but honestly, I can't just give the movie all the credit for that. We are literally in those times, and so there's a lot of people questioning, right? Not to say that they've completely stepped away from religion, but I know that the movie was designed to get the questions rolling in. So, but then again, there are some people who just suffer with cognitive dissonance, and no matter what you put in front of them, they're not gonna budge, right?
Okay,
And
so now you just said something that gave me this thought. Now let's go back to the movie because
right.
there was something that was real huge
Mm-hmm.
that they didn't say nothing about it until the end. And remember when they was uh, letting the world know they were sending out the feed everywhere. They kept saying, "Oh, we're gonna break this feed, yeah, because we're in the middle of almost World War III."
Mm,
Right? So they
right.
said it's like the aliens said we need to bring peace now. We need to because if we're about to have a brink of World War III, the only thing going to stop World War III, unless what alien not alien but Reagan said back in the day, the whole thing is we have a global enemy that we all got to come together for, to
Mm,
stop our own war that make us the new world order. So they
mm-hmm,
did say, remember that that's what was happening. That we World War III. That's why all the news was doing what they were doing, the
mm-hmm.
Chinese people and everything else. And I'm like, why? What was that scene all about? That we're about to go to war, and the only thing is going to bring peace is another common enemy beyond the planet, so to speak, or people, or peace. I don't know.
Well, that was the prep for Project Bluebeam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, me knowing what I know and all the research I've done, and I know you know, Roderick, literally that is the whole plan. Like,
The
of
fake
course,
invasion. Yeah. To bring us
yeah.
together. Yeah.
So, like, the whole movie, think about it like this: it was the savior story or creation story all over again. So you had the man and the woman, the pair, which is can be representative of Adam and Eve. You have Hugo, which was the black guy that was kind of like guiding them in exactly what he was, more like
Because she
a
said you the
guide.
person that know everything. When
Exactly.
she said,
He
"Who are
was a
you?"
guide.
Well, you the
Uh-huh.
person that know everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see, he never really told them exactly what to do. He guided them. Like
He
he
just got it.
gave
Yep.
them,
Yeah.
he didn't give them specific instructions. He's just like, hey, you'll find your way. You'll find
Yeah.
your way. You know,
Yeah.
so it's more so about that message is more so about trust and self. However, there was so much going on as far as like the creation story, the masculine and feminine archetype,
Yeah.
um, Adam and Eve, all of that. So yeah, oh, this movie is when I tell you I gotta see it again because you saw
Well,
it with us.
you know what? I'm finna send you the Google Drive right while we speaking. I'm gonna
Please.
send it your phone
Because it's
so
like
that
I
you
saw it
know
one time, and mind you, I got notes and notes and notes and notes.
we're
But
gonna show it. It ain't it ain't perfect, but it's good audio, good little
mhm.
subtitles in another language at the bottom. But speaking English, we good. But the purpose of us as a group watching it this Saturday and having some hot dogs and popcorn and chilling, but the discussion is what we need to do afterwards. So
Oh yeah,
that's what we is right now. So I'm texting it to you right while we on this thing, and you have it. You can watch it and
thank you.
boo y'all. It's right there. So
Now with Project Bluebeam, because I almost let this thought slip. What I was saying earlier was this is the whole point, like to have a holographic image of the savior, right? And so if you think about the movie, the whole thing was, like I was saying, the creation story, but in the end it wasn't Jesus, it was what? The alien, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
now we're moving into that. And so when it comes to the one world order, or the one world whatever that looks like, it's going to incorporate aliens.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's all they prep people for.
Well, I mean, you're right. I mean, they just had so many directions that they were going, and for
Mm-hmm.
him to sit there in an interview 2 days ago saying he ain't never seen an alien, oh, I'm just going by what the witnesses said, or they all said the same things and everything else. But like I said, what stood out the most was the men in black. They all was in black.
Mm-hmm.
They operated above the government, of course. No
Right.
rules, no whatever. Again, back to the watchers, they was watching everything here and there in the room with thousands of monitors. And then you and I talked about this, but what energetic fields are we putting off? That I'm looking at your photo right now,
Mm-hmm.
screenshotting this. Now, of course, you're cut off, so it looks like nothing else is there. But
Right.
no, you go back to it. It's cool. But the whole point I'm saying is being able to take that photo and like, I'm going in. You know what I'm saying? They were just going into your photograph.
Mm-hmm. Because your photograph is an energetic imprint. And
Yeah,
so we talk about this a lot. Like, y'all know I'm a hoodoo girly. So it's energy. It's a form of energy. So
yeah,
they can absolutely tap in. If see, here's the key. And I love
gotta
that they
believe.
this. They can't tap into everybody. I need
Yeah,
y'all to pay attention to that. Remember, they tried to tap into Danny. They had to tap into Jane, his girlfriend, instead. Why were they able to tap into Jane and not Danny? Right? Jane was more vulnerable. She wasn't sure of who she was. She was trying to figure it out.
yeah,
Whereas Danny, he knew his abilities. Like you can't access everybody. So basically, what that translates to is, even in the spiritual world, when people say, "Oh, I got a curse on me," or "I got a spell on," everybody is not susceptible to getting cursed or hexed or spelled. Like everybody is not subject to that. It goes based off of your protection, your spiritual authority, and your spiritual boundaries.
yeah,
That's what it
yeah.
boils down to. So I need everybody to really understand what they were shown with that, because that, to me, that was like a very, very powerful message. Everybody cannot be accessed.
Yeah, I used to get people all the time earlier. You'll see them in a chat and they be like, "I can't tap into his Akasha's records. I can't get in." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. You're not just going anywhere. Come on now, And but people try to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But in his case, yeah, he tried to go in there and got blew the hell up out of there. Whatever it is, brought him
Mm-hmm.
out of there. Like, man, I'm not going back in there.
Yeah, because you have to have certain, just like they say on certain parts of the lands, you have to have a certain type of code within your bloodline to be able to access.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
same exact thing. Even with the Akasha records, especially, Akasha records hold everything in the cosmos. So absolutely, everybody cannot access the Akasha records. And like I said, that was, if for nothing, that was one of the most powerful takeaways from me from this movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're right because again, they were you know, the word passenger again kept sticking out for me.
Hmm.
Them using it so because the girl, whatever her name again was, the star, she kept saying, "I'm just a passenger." And
Okay.
then when they got her in the end, said, "We just trying to make sure you don't have a passenger."
Mm,
And of course, they did both left eyes. That could be some Illuminati symbolism. Them scanning, but the fact that they are scanning energetically for something attached to your energetic field. So now let's take a detour for a minute. What
mhm.
exactly are they trying to say? If you got a passenger, are we talking about an entity, deities? Are we talking about reptilians too? Are we talking
Right.
about, um, you know, let's go there because there's a whole lot of things they could be saying that's sitting in someone's head. So, because we know people
Mhm.
got their ancestors in their head, they got their soul lovers just blocking stuff. You got all kind of stuff sitting up in here,
Right.
and you don't know who you're talking to on certain days of the week,
Hmm.
and I've been witness people in relationships that spirit told them to not cook dinner. Like what the fuck does spirit got to do with us? You know, it's like, spirit told me to tell you. I'm like, well, I don't know spirit and I ain't listening to that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's y'all deal. You know what I'm saying? So what are we
Well,
dealing with?
listen, you are silly, Roger. But no, like for instance, if you hear me refer to spirit, I'm referring to my higher self, which is connected to divine source, right?
Okay, okay.
So when you hear most people, I can't speak for everybody, but most people, this is what they're referring to, like the God energy that everybody talks about, the energy of the cosmos, the universe, basically. And so you're right, it could be many different attachments.
Yeah.
It could be an entity attachment, it could be an attachment that was created out of trauma. This could be, I mean, so many different things. Or passenger could just be the name for a traveler of the cosmos, right? Somebody that's able to tap in. Because when you talked about the left eye and them scanning that, remember, left side is feminine. It's linked to feminine. So that's
Mm,
intuition, right? So you
okay.
get to tap into that left side because that's where the intuition is housed. But it could have meant traveler. It could have meant there was a hitchhiker, that was attached to this person's aura or energy.
I mean,
It's so
you,
many things it could mean,
you just
but
don't know these days, and it's
no,
like, and we already know when it comes down to Illuminati trauma mind control that they do split your mind.
right.
And then what happens is that other altar or whatever they're doing is in the back until it's activated to come up front. So it's
Mhm.
almost like your mind can have all these different chambers of different personalities, different things,
Right.
which they program,
Oh
by the
yeah.
way. Yeah, so they put that in there. But like I said, now that I want the tool, because you want to meet somebody today and you just want to scan who the fuck is in there. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what you're dealing with now.
Right.
If that's the case, that one, especially when talking about just look into my eyes. Well, I see some shit in your eyes. You know what I'm
Look.
saying? I don't know, but it's they that caught my attention big time for them
Hmm.
to sit there and said, "Hey, we need to scan you to see if you don't have a fucking passenger."
Yeah, that's, to me, that's like an entity. That's a attachment. That's something that you, because it's just like when we talk about astral travel, right? I always tell a lot of my clients, like, just be mindful of protection because there's a possibility you can bring something back with
Yeah.
you from the cosmos. We talk about the spirit realm here, right? This is a very real thing. So protection is key. Having certain herb bags under your pillow, certain crystals, saying different words of protection, channeling your ancestors, like whatever it is that you feel aligned to do. But it's the same thing. You can absolutely have a hitchhiker or a passenger attached to you as well. So a lot of it was just kind of showing the parallels of what we could do as far as traveling the cosmos, but also what can happen, like scanning for passengers or entities. That's kind of what I took from it.
Well,
But I
I
gotta
guess
watch.
my question would be though, as anyone, who do you know what's there? If there are so many possibilities that can be attached to somebody these days,
Hmm.
you know, and what they are connected to and how, because David Icke talked about that all the time. And
Hmm.
so in the movie, what was interesting is the scene when she uh, grabbed that little tool and made the consciousness of when they walked in the room, the whole house, everything just disappeared, but they're there.
Right.
And the
Hmm.
guy like, be quiet. We can hear them, but we can't see them. And they saw a little bit of light, like that light right there. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Something is breaking the matrix, which people see this all day long. People see little glitches all
Right.
day long. Could that be happening in real life? You walking out there thinking you're
Absolutely.
seeing something, and they don't change it up on your ass. And we're still talking about the Mandela effect. That is big, then.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So yeah.
Now, we can get into the conversation of actual shapeshifters as well, right?
Now that ties into that. Yeah.
Exactly. So in a way, again, they was showing us a little bit of something, but they want you to be able to figure it out, right? And they know most people, if you're not connected to the community, you're not going to figure out exactly what they're trying to show.
Yeah.
But shapeshifting is pretty much along the same lines. It's like you can't always see them, right? But it's an energy that you know is there. Like
Yes. Yeah.
the energy is the light. Remember, we are light beings. So it's the energy that you have. This is where discernment comes in, where you have to pick up on discernment of, is this an energy that I know, or is this an energy that feels off, that feels cold, that feels, because certain beings have certain characteristics,
Yeah.
that they play. And so that's how you'll be able to tell. But if you're not tapped in at all, you're not going to know anything. There's people right now walking around in people's families that have an attachment or a passenger attached to
We need to
them.
start using that word. Yeah.
Yeah, a passenger. I
Passenger.
like it
Yeah.
because it's like a code word. But there's
Yeah.
so many people right now, they can't even tell that their family has passengers. And so it's a true thing. You can absolutely hear them or feel them, right? But you don't always see them because we're talking about something beyond that light spectrum.
Yeah. And when you start thinking about controlling, and how he was, and maybe it was more primitive because he didn't know how to use the device, right? We're talking
Mhm.
the guy. So, and
Mhm.
as he was trying to get Jane to stab the dude, and
Mhm.
in the scene that she's fighting and holding the blood of Jesus rolling out, the cross, and
Yeah.
it wasn't until she dropped it and started believing in herself a little much.
Hello.
You get what I'm saying? And then that's when she started fighting back with love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And what do you think about that? Go deeper on that part.
Well, just like you said, like I think we talked about this too, Roderick. I said how they showed the same kind of thing in Sinners, the same kind of religious kind of deconstruction in a way. Because remember on Sinners, the vampires was reciting the darn the
Scriptures.
Bible right along with the scriptures right along with them.
Oh,
Like, yeah,
the
whatever.
Lord said, they with it.
He said, "Yeah, I know
Yeah,
it too. The Lord is my shepherd too. What?"
yeah, yeah. Let me give shit. Let me get in on that one. Come on, yeah, yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah,
it is pretty much the same exact concept of, okay, you you got that, and what is that gonna do? What exactly is that gonna do?
but he did to get her to confide to what he was saying. He used scripture to control her as though she was already
Exactly.
programmed. You
That's
you
right.
remember?
That's right.
There was a scene that he's like, he went on, oh, let me use a program code. He said the code to get her to do what he needs to do because she's been programmed through scripture.
Yes.
I thought
Because
that was
religion
like,
is all about
damn.
what? Control. It's
Yeah.
about control. And so, like you mentioned, Roger, and that's a great point. She had to literally drop the what was it, the crucifix or whatever was cutting her, and she had to start believing in herself, or she was gonna cut Danny's ass.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, they're showing you again. This is why I said this was not about aliens. This was about the human consciousness and human abilities, capabilities. Now, I did hear some people who were saying that they think that this was more so about like them showing that, I guess, white people come for or are the grays, or whatever that. I didn't get that from it. I just stuck to the whole human consciousness and our capabilities. I didn't go as far as that, but I'm gonna look deeper into that because I'm interested in that. I've
I
heard a
mean,
lot of
they
people.
did throw me a little bit, him coming in a wheelchair at the end and shit, barely could stand. And, like, you're a supreme being. Get the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Well, what are you
Roger, I
talking
was
about?
so annoyed. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm like, oh,
What do
really?
they get crippled?
He needs, he's crippled. He needs help out the wheelchair. I was like, they could have did better than that. They could have did a better. He could have just walked in. He just let him walk in or just zap in. Instead, we bringing him in a wheelchair. He's
Right.
all his eyes is closed. He's taking a deep breath. Oh, and then he
He being
gets
all
up.
dramatic, like
Oh man, I'm like, And he remember he met them when they was kids. If that was it, so you're talking
Right.
30 years. That means they're not living for 1,000 years, but now it's old and and decrepit. And I was like, give me a break.
Again, they want you to see whatever it is that they want you to see, because we
Yeah,
know that is no, that's far from what I've learned, and I know what you've learned, Roderick, about
yeah,
these different beings. They live for thousands and thousands of thousands.
thousands of
Some
years.
of them
That's why I
only
was like,
about
how
20.
did he get? How did he get old just like that? I'm like,
Right.
they live 1,000 years. What are you talking about? Yeah, so
They
I
rolled
just
this
thought
dude
that.
in on the wheelchair. Get your ass up out that wheelchair.
And then had to push it to let him up, and then he's pushing up like so. They humanizing his ass. What they was doing.
Right. Right.
They were
Exactly.
humanized. That was the best way to humanize him as you could, and to make it not look like so he. I'm like
Right.
no, no. What he been
You
eating?
ain't got all them aches and pains, honey. Please stop.
Oh
So
my god! I
they
was like, these
again,
people are something else.
this was like breadcrumbing, and also that was the pull on the heartstrings of the people. Like, oh my gosh, he's so old and so wise, and so,
So yeah, he's wise and all knowing, seeing,
yeah,
signs to believe, omniscience. It was like that
right,
whole thing. The light
exactly,
behind it, let it glow into the thing, and dude, the music was just right,
right,
and everybody unzipping him and take what he can't breathe by air. I don't know what it was, but the whole point, take the blanket off of like he's the old wise one teaching humanity. It's like I'm like, no, come on, y'all got to do better than that. You got to do better.
they know what they was doing, but I mean, I could see where people was going with the whole them trying to show that there was a connection between the two. But like I said, I have to dig deeper into that, because it does make sense with them showing that it aged and it got, crippled. It can't really do what it could do back. Like I don't know what the whole point of that was, other than them trying to connect those dots. But yeah, it was funny, so to speak, because I was with you, Roger. I'm
That
like, why
that
is
tripped
he?
me out, and like I said, me watching it for the third, and I'm gonna watch it for the fourth time. Then you can watch as many as you can want now, and sitting
Yeah.
on your phone. We're gonna watch it. And if y'all in the chat and y'all here in Dallas and y'all want to come out Saturday night, let us know. We'll send out a text to everybody on our group text to come on up. Like I said, we'll have like $3 hot dogs, just kind of support, and maybe $5 or something. Just come on now. It ain't perfect. We ain't trying to make it like theater. You coming in there for the discussion, but it is clear as a bell.
That's gonna be
Sound is
good.
good. Nobody's walking across the screens. You know what I'm saying? So we good. We get the whole thing, and we can discuss it as much as we want. And might even just give you a little email copy or whatever, and just to for entertainment purposes only, of course. So another part that stuck out that I thought was interesting, because like I said, this movie has so many parallels to many places that we
Mhm.
want to go. Let's talk about, you and I have many deep discussions, and I don't know, we used to talk to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. You kind of losing your touch, 2 o'clock sleep now. I don't know what's going on, you know. But let's talk about reincarnation, because they did a good job in here showing us how they can trick us into the light by showing us
Mm.
somebody that you can love, because that's how she was backing these people off. So imagine when you die and they trying to get you to walk back into the light, and you see one of these loved ones saying, come on, come with
Come
me.
on, like, yeah.
Yeah, it's all
Exactly.
like, did they not put something together saying, hey, you may not want to believe nothing you see?
Mm. I think absolutely. But I know in that scene, I know exactly what you were talking about when she was like tapping into that. I think it was the cop or something like that, and showed him.
Everybody. She remember the guy.
Yeah.
She showed him his wife when they was
Right.
trying to get away. She showed someone the father. She showed someone else a kid. But it's
Yeah.
the same thing that they've been warning us. When you see a dead or a family member, when you get ready to cross over, is saying,
Right.
"Hey, come with me,"
Mm-hmm.
versus you waiting. We all know from darkness came light, so you want to let it be dark and go instead of walking back into the light. So
Right. Well,
I just
there's two
thought that
things.
was interesting.
They have two things. They have trickster spirits in the spirit realm, right? And
Yes,
I talk about this often, especially when it comes to reincarnation. So exactly what you're talking about, Roderick, like trickster spirits that will come pose as your family, as your loved one, so that you can be led towards the light. And of course, that we can go off on a whole nother rabbit hole with that. But basically from everything that I've learned, the light that most people see is the moonlight, right? And the
Okay.
moonlight where they recycle souls. This is why you have the DreamWorks logo and you have the boy sitting on the moon fishing with the fishing rod because he's
Okay.
fishing souls. And so basically, yeah, the moonlight is the trick. We're supposed to return the darkness from which we come from, but they
Yes.
gave
Stay in the
darkness such
dark.
a
Stay in
bad
the dark.
light.
Yeah.
Yeah, that most people are afraid of the darkness. So when they see the dark, they'd probably rather go towards the light. So yeah, there's definitely some trickery within that, but also within that scene, they were showing her particular abilities to manipulate perception. And so that was one of her gifts, was to be able to do that. And I mean, people have that ability right here today, you know?
Well, I mean, yeah, and you know, and it was kind of funny. And out of all the things that the guy knew,
Mm-hmm.
the head dude, the one question he was asked, like when she was getting away, she was like, he said, "Well, what did she show you?" He said, "My wife." But then when she walked away, he says, "What is she?"
Mm,
He was like,
right.
"What is she?" Because whatever it is, it ain't what we've been dealing with. For her to have the ability to
Mm-hmm.
try to do what he was trying to do with a device. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? What is she? Because not only
Mm-hmm.
she could see into you, but she
Right.
can control you
Yep.
and the whole 9 yards. So he was like, "What is she?" Or, "Damn, that's a power of a female. No wonder us men in trouble."
And again, that's where we get the blurred lines once again.
Yeah,
It's saying like, what is she in reference to, like, is this an alien? Is this a reptilian? Like, what kind of being is she? Or like you said, or are they saying what kind of woman is she? And this is
yeah,
where I want to really bring home the point of, they were showing us our abilities, and they want people to believe that these are supernatural or alien type abilities. No, these are our abilities that we're able to do without a device, right? You see how some people, they have to, or even some entities, they have to use certain tools,
yeah,
whereas us, this is why we're always the focus, because our consciousness is, especially right now, it's expanding. We all, a lot of us are tapping back into our abilities, our gifts, our abilities to be able to travel in the cosmos, to access akashic records, to be able to read individuals, you know, to, I mean, it's so many things that we are able to do that we don't recognize we're able to do. So of course, when you see somebody tapping in, or that has tapped into those abilities and you haven't, you're going to think that's something outside of what you can do. And
yeah,
you know, depending on how you look at it, that could have been one of the messages there.
yeah. It's a double edge, I think, because it wasn't until this year or last year or whatever, and more deeper now, that not only my inner intuition and things about people is getting stronger and stronger, and it really can work against you, because just like she was sitting there, knowing that her man was setting her up, like
Oh man,
her
he
intuition,
got
like,
on
get the
her.
hell up out of there, because you got a lot of people in those type of relationships. But like
Yep.
now, you know, you can sit next to I can sit next to someone, and you just kind of, you can feel it. You can feel
Right.
the inner things, and it's like sometimes you try to shut it off because you want to get a different assessment of the person, but it
Mm-hmm.
won't let you. It's like, no, this is truth. You got to feel it. You're seeing this. And
Right.
then they can be sitting in front of you just talking. Yeah, blah blah blah. I'm a blue person, and then you seeing red all day. I'm just
Mhm.
using for example.
Right.
And you work toward building this and getting stronger at it. And now it's like one day I was like, I wonder if I need to turn that shit off, because now I just want to see people in that human raw, unexpected form. You know what I'm saying? But instead, you're seeing right through them and like, oh, come on,
No,
I don't
I
know.
want to turn mine off. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because I love seeing who people are from a mile
Yeah,
away. Like, you know, and so I mean, that shows you right there how powerful we are, to be able to feel energy, just like they couldn't see them when they was holding that device and they was near that fire truck. They couldn't see them, remember? They
yeah,
only heard them. It's just the same thing, like with the energy. We can feel this energy. We might not be able to see it physically with our eyes. Sometimes you can, though. But sometimes you can't. You can just feel this energy. And that's very, very powerful. The thing is, people are not used to trusting themselves. So when they
Yeah.
get that feeling, right, this is where you get slapped all upside your damn head because your spirit, even though Roderick, I know you don't like that word, your
I mean, hey,
spirit,
it's all good. It's all good.
your spirit will tell you, hey, don't talk to them, or
Yeah.
something ain't clean with this energy.
Yeah.
But just like you said, Roderick, you be wanting to turn it off or go against what your spirit showed you, and now you in a hell of a situation because you
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
not.
You have to. I probably have dealt with the latter on of this year at least 10 occasions where I should have just went with
Yep.
what I was seeing and feeling and knowing.
Right.
And because it is very deceptive that coming out of their mouth, their movements, and all of that is totally orchestrated for
Hmm.
whatever they're trying to get you to perceive or whatever it is. Then that inner glow of what's happening, because that
Right.
is two separate areas there.
For sure.
And now I've gotten really good, which is also really good that you don't meet strangers too if you're really trying to connect with people and get them to uh, understand that you're no threat, that you're here to be who you are and stuff. So yeah, I think there was a lot of stuff in that movie. But if you would say that there was something really big that just out of you that caught you out of all people,
Hmm.
what would be that one thing that you would say, "What the fuck?"
I don't think I had any of those like what the fuck type of moments. The One of the biggest things that I realized, the parallels of where we are right now in reality
Hmm.
versus what they were showing. Because if you notice, one of the common themes when they were showing the alien tapes or whatever, they kept saying, "Is this real or is this AI? Is this real? Is this AI?" And I'm
Yeah,
like, "Yeah,
yeah.
okay." So it goes to show you exactly why they've ramped up AI so much, because they want you to be in that same frequency of not knowing, is this real, is this fake, you know what I'm saying? Just like the pictures that came out with Trump, and they were showing, I know a lot of people probably saw it.
Oh, with the Nordics or whatever he
Yeah,
was
with
supposed to
North.
be. Yeah.
And a lot of people, of course, same rhetoric, is this real, is this AI? Like, you, most people cannot tell, and that was also by design. So I think that was one of the things that caught my attention, just because I realized, oh, they're showing exactly where we are right now,
Oh,
and how they've designed it.
I have to do some real quick house cleaning, real quick. Just throw it out there. This is the shea butter. Actually, this is yours. This is your portion of shea butter that you didn't take with you
And
because
you
I have.
using it, wow.
I'm using it. Yeah. So this is by Holly, which is Make It Song Shea Butter, and the
I love
website
her
and
product.
everything. Huh?
I love her products.
Yeah, yeah, and it's and the link is in the description, you all. And this is called Touche, you know.
Touche.
But this was yours. It came out of your bag that you left on my desk, and so I just want I'm gonna walk you through how you feel with this. You should be feeling really soft right now, you know,
Her
very
products
rubby.
are
And
great. Let me just shout Holly out, because I had a bag full. I didn't even realize I left that one. I'm pretty annoyed by that now. I'm gonna get it back when I come out there, Roger.
we have a plan. We'll talk off air about the plan. But well, you and I talked about the plan, so the plan is a plan. So yeah, we got you planned up. You ain't getting away with that one. Don't even get that look. Don't even try it. No, no, I'm not using intuition now. I'm saying facts is fact. The plan is the plan. I'm not being
See,
transparent.
I was
Huh?
using telepathy because I knew you was coming with it. I knew
I
it.
know, right? Yeah. So yeah. Well, anyway, when that plan execute, it's all
Hmm.
good. Okay. How about that? All
Okay.
right.
All
Yeah.
right.
So we would go. And so in the meantime, I will use this, and
Okay.
anyone else y'all need to get you some. It's in
Yes.
the description of the video, along with Charming Malas, which Judith, she makes all our malas and everything. You guys got to give a call, both of them, or supporters of our show, and also of our community. And Judith is actually gave us permission to look for her house to come to move to Dallas yesterday. So yeah,
Yay.
yeah. So that's gonna be fun and everything else. We know we ain't getting your ass out of Atlanta, so
Nope.
we're just gonna build a speed train, so we can come up there and pretty much. But
Yes.
um, So what is next then? Because I'm not going to hold you up. You know, we'll be here an hour. It's actually an hour now. So let's just go deeper. Now, one of the things, real quickly, in our, you know, I do my Patreon, the
Mhm.
33 parallel, and I've been actually giving them the access to the Monroe Institute, him and Sync, the actual CIA, but the actual um, audios that go through it. And of course, it teaches you all this out of body. It teaches you. And one of the things that was really interesting that I'm starting to see is that they have numeric codes for just about everything. Of course, they have a code that you can say,
Mhm.
focus on a part of your body that's in pain, but you say these numbers, and the
Right.
numbers begin to bring down the pain. Have you heard of anything like that? Or
Yeah, it kind of sounds like similar to like the Grabavoid type of codes that a
okay,
lot of people are used to or that a lot of people know about. But even in the movie, think about what they said. Like mathematics is is the language of the universe,
yeah,
and so I mean it makes perfect sense. Like everything is coded, and if we're going back to even the simulation theory, right? What is a code?
mm-hmm.
A code is usually a numerical alphabetical value, and so yeah, I mean it makes perfect sense. I know that certain numbers in sequence together can create certain frequencies and energies and heal certain things. So yeah, I've definitely heard of it. I've used them before. Not the one for pain, but like way back in the day when I was really needing some money. I'm like, yeah, let me use this code.
Yeah, actually, I have them. I have them. I'm gonna put them in our Patreon tonight or
Hmm.
tomorrow. But yeah, it's codes for just about
Everything.
everything. This one is it's all CIA, so it's numbers for a new beginning, quick money, dream body, love, money magnet, shift reality, weight loss, and health body success. And so I just got them. So I haven't meditated on them yet, but it's a little bit of code. It's like everything's numeric. Yeah.
Right.
And but I know the CIA actual documents have a numeric code that you say for pain,
Oh
and
yeah,
so
they do.
it is in there, you know, that
Yeah.
they're teaching for the out of body and astral experience. So it just kind of takes us in all of those areas. So I thought that was kind of weird, not weird, but very interesting. So for those of you in our Patreon that has been downloading that the last 2 days, I mean, you got some good stuff. If you ain't in there, y'all can look for Patreon / Truth versus Authority. There's a link in the description of the video as well. You got time for at least 10 minutes of Q&A. I'll start letting them put their stuff up.
Yeah.
So if y'all got some questions for Yaya or myself, or just questions, period, put the question and then your question so we know, and I only bring it up on the screen, the question. So if y'all want to throw some in there, go ahead. Make sure if it's pertaining to what we're talking about, we can kind of go there. So I'll wait now. I know there's like a 15-20 second delay. But if y'all got any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Put question by it first, then I'll know and I'll put it on the screen. And we can count. Someone said, please, Roderick, tell me the name of the show, the Patreon, so I can access. So are you already in the Patreon? So if you're in the Patreon already, the last two posts back, you will see where I put up the Google Drive so that you have access to the CIA documents. And in that audio program, then there is a document, and on page 1 or 2 or 3, you will see the code for healing. So it's in there. But that's right there on the screen or in the chat that Maya just put in there is for the Patreon. Get the membership there, and then you will see access immediately. And then I'll start sticking these other images of codes in there tomorrow, and so that y'all have them all. Anybody got any other questions? If I don't see it in the next few minutes here, I'll get our beautiful Yaya out of here. And oh, someone's saying he was the tallest grade. That was another thing that they did. They showed you the short grades, the tall grades,
Right.
which we already know. Some of the grades work for the reptilians because they're zeta reticular, and then you
Right.
have these other ones. So they did depict all these different ones. I thought that was pretty interesting there, and then of course showing us all these little things and pretty much. And I never could understand that myself. You know, you got these little bitty grades, and you got all this technology, you know, that they're able to do stuff that we don't know how to do. So,
Right.
and Bill. Well, looks like we don't have no questions today. I'm kind of weird on that. Are y'all seeing some before I do in the chat? Well, I guess we must said a lot tonight. What do you think?
Must have. We must have answered any question. But well, also some people haven't even gone to see it yet. So that could be it too. But maybe they
Yeah.
had their own notes, Roger. They probably decoded it themselves.
So someone was saying, Yaya, what was the significance about Hansel and
Oh,
Gretel? Yeah.
yeah, good question. So that was kind of leading back to what I was talking about with the breadcrumbs. Because think about Hansel and Gretel, like it showed a lot of the breadcrumbs that they had to leave to find their way back.
Mm,
And I talked about this on another podcast, how basically somebody in my comments when I did the decode, they really called out a great point about in the beginning of the movie, Spielberg supposedly spelled out "You are here," right? And so somebody else in the comments was like, "Oh, like the map at the mall." And so I started connecting the dots. So now I'm like, okay, so basically this is them showing us we are here at this point of disclosure, and we basically about to go through like a maze to get this information, right? And so again, it's the breadcrumbs. So that's why they kept showing Hansel and Gretel, showing you how to get back to what you and your abilities. And so that's
mm.
what I took away from the Hansel and Gretel.
All right. There's two other questions that are coming in now. One in particular, I'm going to put, and then I'll get back to the second one here. This one says, do you think they were twin flames in the movie? And
Mm.
what's the difference between soulmates and twin flames anyway? Is that this difference, right?
They say it's a difference.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that it's supposed to be a difference, but yeah.
Like
One of them
soulmate.
don't get along. One of them, they really don't have to be together, but it's like, yeah.
So twin flame, they say is like when the person you got your spark with, like when your soul inhabited your body, like y'all got the spark at the same time.
Mm.
Basically twin flames. Both of them are pretty much here to activate something in one or the other person. Evolve together, show each other things, but
Now, do
twin
they got to be the
flame,
same age then?
no.
Oh, okay.
They not necessarily. Soul wise, maybe, right? But not on a physical level. Whereas soulmates, like a best friend could be my soulmate.
Mm.
Usually twin flame is the opposite sex. From everything that I looked into. But there's so much speculation around twin flames, soulmates. I would leave that up to everybody's own interpretation, right? Because some people say I found my soulmate or I found my twin flame, and they're using that interchangeably. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, I guess it
But I
just
read somewhere or studied a little bit of videos or some documents that it was two different ones, and they
mhm,
have, so you can have this one and that one simultaneously. It just kind of depends on
right.
that. All right. So this question said, do you believe that UFOs are human technology, and do you believe that there's some kind of agenda that want us to believe that aliens and the Anunnaki reptilians, which is all fake? Which I heard this over the
Mm,
weekend, but yeah.
that's a great question. First part is, do I believe that UFOs are human made? Some of them, yes, absolutely, yes. I feel like they've mimicked them. They have, you know, tricked a lot of people into believing that some of these UFOs that they see are actually real UFOs when it's their technology. However, in order for them to mimic something, there has to be something for them to mimic, right? So there has to be real UFOs. There has to be real, like, at more far advanced technology, and you can kind of tell the difference when you've been watching these things for so long. And Roger, I know you probably can speak to this, like how the UFOs travel. When you see a real UFO, it's like kind of no denying that. It's no denying,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they
In the
acknowledge.
movement, a man-made objects, and a lot of times they can see these triangle-looking objects. But if you see
Mhm.
little tail wings and things that we haven't developed technology to get around,
Right.
that because they're usually more aerodynamic anyway. But these things zip, 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 moves, whatever, and they showed
Mhm.
in the movie a couple of times where it was just there and went. And the acceleration, all of this stuff, because they're not using our things. But Yeah, it's a lot of things out there that we have to look at what we're capable of doing man-made. Just
Mhm.
like people don't understand, we have nothing that's transmedium that can come from space, air, and water and back up within seconds. We just don't have our propulsion systems are not made that way. But so there's a
Now the
huge
second
distinction
part,
between it.
because I know they asked another part of that question about the like if they've probably been force feeding us to believe that these things are real. Possibly, right? They absolutely could have. However, now we got to bring discernment and energy back into the conversation, right? This is where you have to use your own discernment and energy.
Yeah,
You know when something is in your presence that's not of a human type of energy. And if
yeah,
you've never encountered that, you of course you'll question it. But if you've encountered this specific type of energy, is no denying it. Like that's the biggest thing that I could tell you. I know plenty of people. Hey, we looking at one of them that have experienced this himself.
yeah. But you ain't gonna hear me talking about they was clicking to me, but yeah, but
But
you know what I'm
they,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think and it's not what we think. I mean, just about everything can appear itself in human form these days to get us to bring our guards down anyway. I think we're all
right.
just looking for these things. Someone said the question, do you think about the scene where their eyes flashed after the device hit them?
Mm,
Now, I don't know when he's saying who hit who because the device never hit anyone. Or
oh, maybe like
they talking about when
temporarily.
they tapped into them. Then
Yeah,
you knew that they was in their consciousness. Yeah, I think
right.
that was just the director of showing us that control or connection had been made or something.
Yeah, you're right. An energetic connection is it was showing. They always like show the light or like a spark in reference to energy or even energy transference. So
Mm,
I honestly that's what I think they were showing with that, like showing like you said, Roderick, like soon as and then remember it will only work with skin to skin contact, meaning they would need a living org field to connect to. Because when they had the gloves on, the two didn't work. Remember?
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
and they were shocked. You can tell when she picked it up, they all went back, but she felt their fear and went
right,
like, okay. Oh, let me just show you this thing can just light up the boards and
right.
power. And I thought that was pretty interesting. So we have question, Yaya. Do you think about the last word? What do you think about the last word in the movie from the alien translated by Margaret saying, listen?
Oh, it could be taken
There was a
so
lot of talk for
many.
him to be, and then one word, listen. Boy, he wasted a lot of clicks.
Do all that spitting in my ear. But
Yeah.
no, I mean to me, I believe that they are talking to the collective, right? The collective conscious as far as listening without distorted ears at this point. Listening for the true message. But again, the biggest thing is you have to be on a certain frequency to even be able to hear or resonate with what's being shown.
Hmm.
So it, like I said, that can be interpreted so many different ways. Because are you telling everybody to listen to everything that y'all want us to believe? Are you telling us to listen to ourselves and our intuition, our higher selves? Like it, it depends on how you perceive it, and that's what this whole movie was about. It was like about your own perception because they did a great job with blurring them lines.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I took away from it. Listen without distorted ears at this point.
So we have a question. Says, I understand that light at death may be the moon and may be a soul trap. How
Hmm.
do we know for sure that going into the dark is correct? Please explain. Now, simply, I would say out of darkness became light anyway, where we came from. So you're going to start back where it started, but go into depth with that.
I don't know for sure because I don't remember that part. We've been here plenty of times,
Who?
right? But I don't remember that part. So what I could say is this is why you is so imperative to build a connection with your ancestors, with your higher self, discernment, knowing and understanding energy, because even in your transition period, you're going to need to be able to make a sound decision, right? You're going to need to be able to use discernment to say, does this energy feel familiar, right? Because I mean, when we talk about the spirit world, this is what I teach anyway. Like, does the energy feel familiar? Because anybody, just like they showed in that movie, anybody can pose as one of your loved ones, right? But does that mean that it's actually them? And so this is where it's important to build that connection with that spirit realm, with your higher self, and just trusting your instincts, your intuition. And again, that's what the movie was showing. But there's no way for sure to tell. But from everything that I've seen, researched for years and years and years, that light is the moonlight. It's the moonlight. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
you can
and they talk about that, yeah, y'all. And one of the things that I have just come into my thinking, now we have the difference between reincarnation and incarnation. It's almost like some of us decided to come back.
right.
It's like, put me back in the game, coach. I
Yeah.
want to do something. And then now it's almost like you got to be clever enough to leave your own evidence behind so that you remember. It's like you already know, okay, I
Right.
want to put me into this soul group over here. And then I need to be able to, knowing that I'm born in this time into this soul group, there's evidence that I'm gonna leave behind. I just need to look at it and be like, damn, did it? Why does that?
Mm,
Why does that message on the wall familiar? It's like you
exactly.
have to train yourself to breadcrumb your way back to remember, like they said in the
Absolutely.
movie,
Yes.
And so I think that's a huge thing that we need to understand. Now, this next question is pretty good. I'm going to have you to answer it because I could. He said, is there one single piece of hard evidence that aliens have ever visited Earth? There's not one person that has ever presented evidence of alien visit Earth. No evidence whatsoever.
Well, the thing is, I don't know about that. I know people who have had personal experiences themselves, right? But now we got to
Mhm.
start asking the question: what do you deem as evidence, and when do you
And
deem
what do
that?
you deem as aliens? Because out
That?
of 400 interviews, then depending on their religion. Now, at this point, I'm not going to make assumptions, but this is a religious question because at this, from the tone, but the religion background and how we were raised depicts what we call aliens. And like you said, in its real example. Now we can go to hard evidence of technology and things that was here before. So, for example, you want to go into the indigenous tribe of the Dogons who don't have any technology. They were this African tribe sitting out in the middle of nowhere, but yet they knew of star constellations and things
Mhm.
before we even had satellite systems to even view and turn that way. We have things that are sitting here on this planet that are built ancient times by some ancient technology that we don't possess today. We cannot move some of these rocks that's in these pyramids. We don't even know how they designed them and put them that way, how they are positioned in certain angles in different places. You got formations, you got so many things. And then you have all the ancient remnants of alien visitation from the stars and going back into ancestral paintings and rock cavings and carvings. And there are just so many things that show that there was some type of ancient visitors or where we have evolved from. And
Mhm.
once we start putting that curiosity, I will say to this person, it will lead you down the road of, well, like she said, cognitive dissonance dissonance will be a little better because sometimes it's hard for us to believe things that are now true based on all our lives that they wasn't true, or vice versa, it was true, and all our lives now we find that it's not true. You just have to open yourself up to look at options and things, and then analyze: does that work today? How did this exist in our day and time, and where did this come from? So
Mhm.
outside of the witnesses and us knowing, and what you just saw in Disclosure, if you watched it, that they have recovered uh, bodies that are non-humans. And so, but yet we can go back to dolphin people. We can go back to, let me have my three little things over there: my dolphin, my sector. And you know what? I need to send these files to your daughter so y'all can make use of No, that insectoids. That yeah, that one. Yeah. So you got your 3D printer.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm making my little. This is my. He's not blue, but this is the avian man. This is the dolphin beings. This is the insectoids. So I'm making all the Palladians, the every species reptar. I got 12 different alien species. I'm making with my 3D printer, and then we'll paint them and ship them out. So
That's dope. Let me say this to kind of go back to that question real quick. I saw something the other day, and it is so true. It's like the human brain doesn't really make up images, right?
mm-hmm.
it it usually sees that image somewhere. So
Yeah,
where did they see these beings to make them up? They're not that creative. That's first and foremost. That's the first question I had to ask myself. Second
yeah,
of all, just like you were talking about, some of these structures, pyramids, the like all these fancy buildings, when I see these different cathedrals and the intricate designs, and I'm like, why don't they do that now? I never see buildings built like that. Right?
yep,
So you have to start thinking deeper and stop saying, okay, well, there's no evidence that you've seen, right?
yeah,
That you've
yeah.
seen.
What? Yeah. What do you need? What do you want to just get tapped on the shoulder and say, "Hi, I'm an alien," and probably already is because people ask, "What do they look like?" And I'm like, "What if we look like them?" So
What if we are them? Right? Like
yeah,
that's a whole nother conversation, because I heard something from somebody one day and I swear it stuck in my mind, because 2017, before people even started talking about orbs and UFOs, I had a bunch of them sitting over my house, and these things will follow me, and I'm like, what the hell? So one day I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying, well, what if that's you just on another timeline and you following you to protect you? And I
yeah,
swear I can't stop thinking about that shit. So, it's so many different possibilities. It's about remaining open, because if you think that we live in this huge earth, right? Multiverse, and you think we're the only ones here, that you got another thing coming. That's the only thing I got to say to people who don't believe in aliens just because you haven't seen them. And 9 times out
yeah.
of 10, have seen them, just like they showed in the movie. They just came as deers. They just, I
There
mean,
you go. That
they
that
have
was
so much.
my point. Now that you know that they
Mhm.
can take a different human form, or yeah, different forms that's pleasant to you. It's very interesting that they was depicting that. And now when you start thinking about, why is that fucking raccoon just staring at me?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like out of nowhere. The raccoon is just sitting out of nowhere. Am I
But
supposed
not
to
even
feed
that.
him?
Like,
Throw him a
I
nut?
I think
Yeah.
people don't even get it, it's not always just even humans. Like, they have the ability, they can shapeshift into, I got a bottle of like lemon juice right here. They can shapeshift into that. Like, this is
Inanimate
what people are
objects, yeah.
not getting. And so again, they showed you the animals, but there's so many things they could shapeshift into. And that I'm sure you have encountered them before, but their goal is not always to instill fear, depending on the type of being. So they're going to present to you in whatever way that, based off of their certain characteristics. Now, you get encounters with them Alpha Draconians, the
Hey,
Draconians, period, the insectoids, even some of the Greys, right? Even some of the
yeah.
Pleiadians. There's duality in all things. Good beings, bad beings. So I'm open. I'm always open. I already know, like, I've encountered different types of beings, different types of energies, different types of attachments, all those different things. I ain't been abducted by no alien that I know of, right? But as far as those energies, absolutely. I've absolutely
Yeah,
encountered.
those are everywhere. I actually after we came back from the event, me and a friend of mine, we went downtown Dallas. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take you on this tour. So we went down to Deep Ellum where all this craziness is. But I end up showing her the place called Ruins, number one. And I was like, we're gonna walk in here and I want you to see in plain sight how these people are invoking spirits, and they have a room in the back and it says enter, and the demons are sitting up there in the walls, and when you walk in there's a spear right over there piercing you, and every wall inch to inch. and then you see how the demons, and then you see people and they're just moving like them, and the people. I was like, yeah, walk up to the bartender, they don't even look human. It's just the whole. It's like
Mm-hmm.
perfect place for them to blend in. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
like, then I was like, hey, we're gonna people watch and let's sit right here. I'm gonna just point stuff out. People walking around. Here's what type of spirits they got. Look at this, and
Mm-hmm.
and here's the stuff on the wall. See, they putting this everywhere.
Right.
And she was pretty amazed in pretty much, but just to see that there's a part of this world that we're missing things in plain sight,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but it's constructed in a way that they kind of know. This question, in fact, we got a bunch, so I'm not gonna go through all of them. I guess I can. I didn't realize the chat was still moving, and I'm sitting here stuck. Whoa! I mean, you got a lot of stuff. So how much time you got? A couple of minutes? One, two?
I
There's a
got a
lot of them in here, but huh?
I got a few minutes.
All right. Well, I'll do 5 more minutes because I know we was gonna do an hour, and I lied. So
You
uh,
did.
yeah, but but telepathy would have told you I was lying.
It did. I already knew you was lying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, all right, we'll do this one. This is a three-part, but I'll make it one. There are times when I feel like I've astro projected and I have in my early years. Why do we need to do that, or how can we stop ourselves? For me, it's not comfortable.
Mm. Well, how can we stop ourselves? Fear. Fear will stop it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. Why do we need to do it? Because it is a part of our abilities. It's a part of who we are. Our soul is not confined just to this vessel. Our soul, again, and referencing back to the movie when you talked about passengers, Roderick, that's what I was saying. It could be referring to us as the soul, right? Because we do travel. So we're considered passengers, but you need to do it because there's so much that you can benefit from when you learn how to astral travel. And some people can connect to the Akashic records. There's certain people who are time travelers, in their astral travel, so they can go back to different timelines, they can heal different timelines, they can bring information back from different timelines. It's so many different things that can be done in that astral world. And the biggest thing that will stop it, because I have a lot of people who ask me, well, how do I astral project? And a lot of people feel like they've gotten themselves there, but as soon as they become extremely fearful, it'll stop. So that's one of the ways to stop it, to be in fear. But I don't recommend that because that's one of the lowest vibrations. So it is very uncomfortable, right? Especially when you're returning back to your body. Now that's one I talk about that often. I feel like you slamming down into your body,
yeah.
and for me, I'm an aquatic being. I know this, and so when I astral travel, it's like I'm coming
A
out the
mermaid, she's a damn mermaid part dolphin.
water. So when I come out the astral travel, I'm like I'm coming out of the water because
Yeah.
that's and I'm wet and everything. So it's a real this is a real thing. This is a real ability, and it's power within those abilities, which is why they have a whole department within the government that studies who all is able to travel in the astrals.
That's what I put, like I say,
Mhm.
in the CIA thing,
Right.
Monroe Institute. It teaches you how to astro project, how to go get answers out of that realm, how
Yep.
to visit other people in that realm. And we probably, just even what it costs, to join is like $33. But I'm also shocked of how many people that did not go get this information, but yet they
Mm,
are curious. And
right.
when you start talking about it, and yeah, we put it behind a paywall. Yes, to support our community. Yeah, I'm doing things I'm not supposed to be doing. But for that type of information and for people to enhance their abilities. But I do understand it's only going to speak to the ones who are supposed to anyway. They'll
Right.
go get it. If they're called to it, they'll go get it.
Hmm.
But just kind of seeing some of these questions. I'm going to put up this one. I just took it down because it was a lot covering up our screen. But the movie was released on the 12th, and you guys talk about numbers. I've seen videos on History Channel, et cetera, talking about the significance of 12, majestic 12, 12 disciples. Now we got June 6th, the 12th, or
Hmm.
whatever. What are your thoughts?
Mm, definitely, because we know they, in that industry, they're gonna always use numbers, numerology, gematria, all those things. Um, they do talk about 12 a lot, but I always break it down because I'm looking at that three, which is expansion.
Yeah, that's why I thought 6, 1, 2, 3 is 9, and then
Yeah,
goes all the way back to 3. Yeah.
right. Because like I said, it just depends on how you look at it. But from a numerological standpoint, damn, I can't even say it. I broke it down to threes, and of course, you start to see that 3, 6, 9, and that's more so what I was looking at, because any of us know who studied, any type of gematria, numerology, they're always going to show those 3, 6, and 9, because that is the numbers of the universe, the keys to the universe.
And look at your psychic. She says, Yaya, which is D Hollis, I love you, and Rod, come to Atlanta. Then you've been saying this.
I love
Get me
you
to come.
too.
Well, you've been saying I'm coming to Atlanta too. So
Oh yeah, he coming, because I'm about to do an event. I haven't put it together just yet, but I'm gonna do an event, and I want Roger, I want the whole team to come on down to Atlanta, and we're gonna have a good time. We might even do some I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna have a good time. Just know that.
yeah, well, we ready. We stay ready,
So
and
I want to see you, beautiful.
yeah, so we will be coming to Atlanta, and yes, we'll be doing that. All right. So with that being said, it is the bottom of the hour. I'm gonna get you out of here. Appreciate you. I'll hit you up around midnight, 1 o'clock, see if you're still up. And
Good.
when it slows down, and we'll just do that. But anyway, much love to you, and see you soon.
Peace. Thank
Peace
y'all
out.
for having me.
All right, y'all. All right, so we just have it. That's the greatness of Yaya. Of course, she was in here. If you all know, she was in Dallas a couple of months back. She spoke here. Me and her. If you go into the Patreon, uh, that 4 hour paid event is in there. You can watch the whole 4 hours of me and her talking, going back and forth in between. It was a great conversation. So you definitely want to get into our Patreon at 33 Parallel, and you'll be able to access that information. I'm going to be putting those numbers into the Patreon between now and 24 hours. Right now, the last thing that I've been making sure everybody get in there and download is the Patreon for the Monroe Institute. And just to give you a quick overview of that, and that's what she's just been talking about today, before y'all get out of here, is astro projecting, learning the skills of doing that. And so in there, you will get this 12-page document or 20-page document. So it's in there for you to download. The document is there. It's 20-something pages. It's going to teach you the gateway formula. It's going to teach you energy balance. It's going to teach you the patterns that change in your life, the free movement exercises. It'll teach you how to, from all your breathing exercises. It's just going to teach you everything. So go into our Patreon. The link is in the description. Download the audio versions too, where it's going to give you the sound frequencies when you sit back. The mantra is going to take you into those trances, and then it's going to get you to speak, and it's going to teach you how to get out of body, move around. You can move around and see things, connect things, and it's all in there. And hopefully we will start doing some private talks, and then we'll start sending messages to each other, because it is designed to teach you that. It is the CIA program. It's their program that they gave to their operatives. And so the document itself has been declassified, but the actual matching hours and hours of the DVDs, the music, and him walking you through, putting you under the trance is definitely that correlates with that. So again, you can go into our Patreon, hit the 33 Parallel in doing that, and it will be there. Now, I'm not for sure if I should leave it up months and weeks later for new people, because it's something we not supposed to really be having in there, but it's in there. Another thing that I'm going to do, if I can put on the board, if you're in Dallas, you want to get on our text list. Let me see if I have it here. You can jump on our text list for our movie nights and all of that stuff. So we're going to be doing that. Since we do have a copy of the disclosure, from there, I may even put that up in there too, so that y'all can download it and watch it again yourself. Yeah, I'll do that tonight or tomorrow for the Patreon people too. So I'll put it in there, upload it, then you can kind of watch it again. Like I say, it's a screen or whatever kind of copy or whatever, but just study it for educational purposes, not something you're going to be selling and all that stuff. It's not like a perfect, but it's definitely worth it. If you want to join our text list and you're here in Dallas area, and you want to get on there, it's on the screen, 888-440-9771. Text the word truth to that. And then we will make a decision tonight. If Saturday night, we're going to do our event. We're doing an event anyway, but I think we should go ahead and do the movie night. So it's this Saturday, June 27th, okay, at 7:30. Come on in. We're going to have a hot dog machine. We're going to have $3 hot dogs, so that, all beef, of course, the best kind. We'll find the best kind. And then we can do some chicken dogs or something. We can put something on the side. Now I do need to say I may need to ask maybe $5 or $6, $7 to donate because we got to pay for the room. Nothing compared. But remember, the main caveat is us sitting around together as a group discussing this stuff in deeper, and with you probably watching it again or for the first time or whatever, you will be able to get a better understanding. So we're going to watch it in our big room over here. We have a room, and we'll sit around and watch the movie together on our little computer screen and doing that. And like I said, it's not, don't come in and thinking you over at the AMC and all that with vibrating seats and shit. But if you got to have that, you pay us $50. I'll get Devin on the left, TK on the right. We'll shake that motherfucking seat every scene for you. I'll douse a little water on water scene. Shit, we'll bring that bitch to life for your ass. You better believe it. If you got to have it like that, we can do that. We do special orders. We can do that. So anyway, text 888-440-9771. Text the word truth. It will put you on our list. And I need to know if you guys want to come out and support us, we will do that. So we'll be at the, but definitely we want you to register to see that. But like I said, if you are hearing the messages, you want to go in there and download that gateway. And we have to. So as a collective, like I said, you'll learn the breathing exercises. You'll learn how to, again, do your body charges. But the other part is that Astro from the CIA. But let me warn you, this is where they did see the reptilians. Okay. And so you're going to open up that door. But something that Yaya said earlier is that you want to make sure that you close it. And in the affirmation that you're going to find in here, I'm going to read this to you real quickly. It's going to tell you that you need to make sure you leave it closed. So you're going to first affirmation when you go in there. So I want to make sure I explain it to you. And I do have an explainer video in there. But just to let you know what we witnessed in the movie Disclosure, they're saying it here. And this is back in the 70s and they redid it. But I'm more than my physical body. I can see more than physical matter. I can perceive more than this greater than this physical world. Therefore, in these exercises, I want to expand experience to know, to understand, to control, and use. Here's the kicker. Greater energies and energy systems that may be beneficial and constructed to me and those who follow me. And also during these exercises, I need the corporation and assistance and understanding from those individuals whose wisdom, develop, and experience is equal and greater to my own. That lets you know we're tapping into a more deeper consciousness or collective consciousness. And it's saying I ask for guidance and protection from any influence or source that may provide me with less. In other words, it's saying leave out that other shit if I don't blame them. But the other part of this, it says I open this channel of communication only for those knowledge and wisdom and develop and experience equal or greater than my own, and I reject all other. And open its channel when I so consciously desire, and at other times it will remain closed. That's exactly what Yaya was mentioning. You have to make sure that you close this. And I'm saying this pretty interesting because you may fall asleep and you forget to let these things know that you want to keep that thing closed when you don't need it. Then that's when you let in all these other entities. It's like they just scream, yo, 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 Sherry left the door open. Let's go in. And now you got people saying they got their such and such. They talking to here, they listening to here. And this person said this thing said, you cheating on me. And, I feel, my soul family said you cheating on me. And you're like, what? And now that we, it's just so much to deal with. that we have to think about these things. But again, if you want to learn that, go into our Patreon, the 33 Parallel, and that is where all of our esoteric knowledge will sit in the future. And but I'm just telling you, this is time. They showed it in the movie, and I think it's time for people to go in there and learn that. And I hope you find your way there. The link is in the description of the video. And yes, there is a expense there, but for what you're going to learn over the next year and all the stuff that we're putting in there, you will not be the same entity or person, so to speak, or human, and experiencing this world the same thing. Is there an issue with the website? Yes. One of my, not the Patreon website, but I am switching .com from Squarespace over to Wix. And so I had to take it down like 2 days ago. 3 days ago, 4 days ago. So, yeah, we're moving it from Squarespace to Wix, and it's supposed to be its own migration. And I shouldn't have done it over the Father Day weekend. But if there's other communications, we do have our .org, I think, or did I put the other one up? Anyway, so I've been working on all of those in pretty much. But if you're talking about our .com, yes. So we're switching from Squarespace to Wix for the store, because we're about to integrate it with some other stuff. But you can go to our Enter Truth. I guess that's where our thing is. Yeah, you can go to Enter Truth. I have not put it up for disclosure thing. I'll do it tonight where y'all can kind of register for that, and we can do that. But yeah, so we're working on all of that stuff, and then I'll get back in there, and I think I got a few books and stuff I got to ship out. I finally just got a whole stack of books over here, so we was out, and so it was a couple of them late getting sent out, but we got 50 or 60 new books just came in, so I'll be sending all of the stuff out now, and I apologize, and I should have called everybody personally. But anyway, if y'all got any other questions, let's get ready to get out. Enjoy yourself. If you did not hear the words I love you, I want to tell you I love you personally. I love each and every one of you, and if you didn't hear it this weekend, then hey, it's all about love. You know, it's all about love. And as you know, August the 8th, we will be here with Brother Yosef and the community for the New Life Tools Love Conference, and you know, finding true love. And so if that's something that you want, you might want to come up and be a part of this. Now, as you know, we are 5 days a week, 5 for 5. So we'll be back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock and everything else. And so hopefully you enjoyed today's show. I do have a couple other guests I'm going to try to get here this week with what I call my reptilian correlation, people that are very into the reptilian truth. So we'll be talking about that as well, pretty much. So Into Truth will be up. It's already up, but I'll put the movie night thing up in a few minutes. And like I said, we need to do that. And I should have done it anyway. But I just want to make sure some of you will come out Saturday to support before we roll out our hot dog machine, you know, the little griller and all that shit. Yeah, I know you don't have to eat hot dogs. You can do whatever you want. It just make movie night, popcorn, hot dogs, and soda. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But, you know, spoil yourself. And don't forget, go get your shea butter. You know, it's in the site. This is Yaya's, actually. I've been using it because she couldn't take it on the airport. So we will go from there. So love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Mañana. Let's go.
UFOs.
UAPs.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs. A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA.
My gosh.
They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs that landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Let's try.